and welcome to the post-race show of the Southern African Endurance Series. My name is Kriya Gangia and we're currently at Redstar Raceway in Delmas. It has been an exciting series so far, with Michael Stevens currently in the lead of the championship. Reigning champion, however, Silvio Scribante is trying to claw back some championship points after his last win being in Killarney in Cape Town. Let's see what went down of the SAGT Round 3.
Under warm skies, the SAE Endurance Series gathered at Redstar Raceway outside Delmas in Mpumalanga for Round 3 of the SAGT National Championship. In qualifying, Michael Stevens made his intentions clear after his double win at the previous round with a blistering lap record-breaking pole position ahead of reigning champion Silvio Scribante. As the field headed to turn 1, Calbert, who made a great start from the second row, braked a touch too late and tagged Silvio's car, pitching the yellow Lamborghini into a 180-degree spin. As the Mercedes driver tried to avoid him, he sideswiped Silvio's right rear corner, eliminating the champion from the race with terminal suspension damage.
Silvio, what happened?
Well, I had a great start off the line and I was edging past Mike, and then on foot, look, I was on the outside, so I wasn't going to dare dive him on the outside. So I remember turning in behind him and then getting tagged on the right rear, and then it put me into a massive spin. I actually spun in the middle of the track and stalled the car, and then basically started and got going, and I realized that the car's crabbing, so I knew I had a flat wheel. And then once we got to the pits, I realized that the suspension's damaged. So yeah, that's put us unfortunately out of the race. Anyway, it's racing, I suppose.
It's how what do they call them, the race gods kind of dish out the cards?
Yeah, it's really not going my way this year, you know. But anyway, it is what it is. Yeah. We'll hopefully be back for the next race and put the fight to Mark.
What is the work that's got to get done on the car now to get you on for the second one?
Well, I've got suspension damage. The suspension's bent, so we're gonna have to pull the suspension out now and put our spare parts in for the next race. So I'm sure we'll be ready for the next one.
Calbert pitted to repair bodywork damage, all of which left Stephen in an untroubled lead, followed by Aldo Scribante after taking to the grass to avoid the fracas unfolding in front of him at the first turn, followed by Rolfs du Plessis in third, Paul Hill and Calbert, who was battling with brake issues. Spieth retired his McLaren with a failing clutch, while White and Letlaka, now in the team's Aston Martin Vantage GT3, used the race as a test session to set up the unraced car for the endurance race and pitted the British supercar after 10 laps.
Amazing finish from you. When we chatted on the grid, you were like, oh, I'm just going to see how the day goes, and then you finished third and first GTO.
Yeah, that was a big surprise actually for me. Once again, thanks very much, Isaac. Thanks to our Lord, gave me the talent at my age still to race. That's awesome. This track is not for old people, I promise you that. I was so sick that last half an hour in the car, but thanks very much for the opportunity again, and enjoy it very much.
So rumor has it, when you say that you were sick in the car afterwards, you were actually really sick in the car afterwards.
I was really sick in the car.
Well, Michael Stevens has the first win of the day in the bag, but now the SAGTs are paired up with the SAE. Let's see how all the drama unfolds in the 3-hour race.
Many of the drivers were new to the 4-kilometer circuit and spent the practice sessions finding their way around the 13-corner facility. But when qualifying got underway on late Friday afternoon, it was Rian Potma who blitzed the timing screens in his Auto Investments Ligier Honda, setting a time of 1:53.4 on his second lap of the weekend.
Andrew, how's it going?
Good, and you?
Good, thank you. So tell me, you guys had a little bit of issues with your car.
Yeah, Cyclops, we've been struggling with the rear suspension. We've had components failing on that, so yeah, that's not been great.
And now you've done a couple upgrades?
Yeah, we've had some help from Larry Wilford at Jet Bearings, and we've upgraded all the rear rose joints. It's something a bit stronger, so yeah, fingers crossed that it lasts this time.
So it's quite an interesting grid, and I think maybe a bit confusing to our viewers, but it's SAGT combined with the 1 hour SAE and then your 3 hour SAE. It's a lot happening.
Yeah, look, I think for us, we just focus on our 3 hour, try and win our class, which we've managed to get pole in today. So, yeah, that's our focus.
Okay, main focus is obviously getting into your pole. Congratulations on the upgrades, and I hope that it goes really well for the rest of the weekday.
Hopefully they've upgraded the driver as well.
No, I think we're still running the old models on those.
Nice, thanks.
I'm quite a bit nervous about the start. Yuri decided to put it in my hands. Don't know why, but yeah. But just our goal is just to get a clean start and get clear and then hopefully finish the race.
This is not the car that we saw last time out. I'm pretty sure that was a Mercedes.
Yes, yeah. So that was Clint and Charles with the Mercedes. It's getting a bit of love now, some refresh on the engine. And Clint is actually in Mozambique for his boys. They're doing a race down there. And yeah, lucky for me, I got the call. So I said, don't even ask, I'll jump in, no problem, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about this Porsche and what you guys are hoping for on this race.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an older generation car. I think maybe a podium if everything goes well. If strategy, safety cars works in our favor. But yeah, it's not the quickest car, but I think it will be reliable and will be a good one.
Oh, well, all the best of luck for today.
Good, thank you very much.
With the 25-car grid formed, combining SAGT and SAE cars, it was Steven on pole from Silvio and Aldo Scribante, Botma, Latachan, Hill, Calbert, Arangis and the rest of the SAE teams. The opening 20 minutes saw plenty of action as the SAGT cars quickly caught the slower SAE teams, while Stuart White, who started from the back of the grid, quickly carved his way through the pack, and 25 minutes into the race was hot on the heels of race leader Michael Steven. It all came to naught though, for the Aston Martin retired just over halfway into the race with a broken clutch.
Yeah, unfortunately from the beginning of the race we had a clutch issue that just escalated during the race until the car started to pick up that the clutch slip was too much, so then it switches off the engine, you have to do a complete reset and go again.
Oh, goodness.
So it got worse up to the point where the clutch broke, and then we had to stop because we were also scared that we're going to damage the gearbox. Yeah. So unfortunately of these cars that has like an auto cut on the clutches, so it's a very complicated system, and unfortunately this let us down. So really feel disappointed for Kulila and the team. I mean, we're trying very hard. We've had a long streak of bad luck and stuff not going our way, but we'll keep on working and see if we can turn it around from the next round on.
When the SAGT cars made their compulsory pit stop, Scuderia Scribante got Silvio out in double quick time, while Steven had traffic on his in-lap and had a spin to avoid a slower SAE car, which was enough to change the race lead as Silvio Scribante emerged ahead once the race settled down again. After the first hour and the end of the second SAGT race, Scribante was a delighted winner after a poor start to his title defense, having retired twice on the first lap in the last 3 races. An exhausted Aldo Scribante completed the podium, followed by Rolf Duplessis, Marius Jackson of MJR Motorsport, as well as Calbert's Mercedes.
Look, I'm quite happy. I was not quite as quick as I would have liked to have been. Yes, I was still trying to learn the track. I haven't got the real groove on, but it was great. And I must also take my hat off to the endurance guys. Their performance and the way they could see us coming, outstanding. It really was a pleasure driving with them. You know, we were a bit nervous, but they were brilliant.
I think at the end of the day, it is quite a family sport, and specifically with SAES, you know, everybody helps everybody out, and you can see it on track as well.
Yeah, they were just, I don't know what to say, they were just fantastic, and it was such a pleasure racing with them, and yeah, I hope the rest of their 2 hours goes well.
So obviously now looking into our next race, you're going in with some seriously good points, so it's an exciting finish for you as we go into the second half of the season.
Yeah, I've got a bit of body work to sort out of my car from a few bumps and bashes, but anyway.
Not going to say with who.
No, but yeah, so we'll have to fix that up and then see what the next race brings. It's a track I'm more familiar with, so hopefully I'll be a little bit quicker and a bit more competitive to the pro guys. That's what I'm aiming for.
All right, well, I look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you very much.
Focus returned to the SA Endurance race where the Lataghan Porsche held sway over the backdraft beast with Arangis in third place and Rose Polo in a solid fourth. When the first safety car was deployed, the leading GT car had lapped Arangis but not Lataghan, allowing the BBR Porsche to catch the back of the pack, effectively gaining a lap over his rival. Pitting under the safety car, Tavares jumped in and caught the back of the train again.
Hein, great stint from you. Obviously, this is very important for you guys to get those points you need this season.
Yeah, we are on the back foot this weekend because we are 3 drivers. We chose from the beginning of the year for Henk to join us. It's nice to drive with him. But it means we have to do 2 pit stops. And usually the other guys in a 3-hour race will only do 1. So we had a little bit on the back foot, but it was a good stint and we were really lucky with the safety car.
Very lucky with the safety car. But besides that, the car's running really well and you guys make a good team. So I think that's really important.
Yeah, it's also for fun, you know. I mean, it's not only for the racing. It's a family affair with Verissimo as well. So we're trying to have as much fun and to be competitive as well.
Speaking about family, I see you have the whole family here this weekend. That must be quite nice.
Yeah, I had my grandson. He still thinks his granddad is his idol, so it's wonderful. So he came and greeted me, and he was very happy to see me.
Well, thank you so much for chatting to me, and best of luck for the rest of the race.
Thank you very much.
The final stint belonged to Henk Lataghan, who took a few laps to get up to speed, but once running strongly, quickly passed the backdraft beast that had assumed the lead and headed into the final hour with a 1.8 second advantage, which he built into a 1 minute 42 second advantage by flag 4. While the Arangis Niveling Porsche had a pit stop advantage with a 2-man crew versus the 3-driver lineup in the BBR camp, their challenge was blunted when plastic in the fuel rig meant Niveling was sent out without enough fuel to complete the race, and a late splash and dash would be required. The Stradale team knew their challenge for the win was over, and second was the best result they could hope for.
We wanted to only do 1 pit stop, and that was our plan. And I mean, if you look at where we are, our plan is really going to plan. But yeah, the fuel just didn't want to go in. We found a piece of plastic in our fuel rig that basically blocked the fuel from going into the car. So yeah, we only fueled half of the car, and that is unfortunate at this stage. You know, it takes us out of the running currently. So frustrating.
It kind of gives you another extra 30 seconds that you have to deal with. Do you think that Arnold's going to be able to recover it?
I don't know. You know, traffic around here is very bad. So, you know, you can do 155 lap times, and then the next lap we had 2 minutes. So, you know, it's a ebb and flow. But looks like we've got a safety car now, so the boys are ready. Hopefully we can get something going. Yeah, here we go.
Okay, all the manicness is happening at the back here. So I'm going to make Craig turn you around, and then you can see all of it.
Running a strong second and holding their own against the Stradale Porsche, McLaughlin brought the backdraft in for a refuel, but the car refused to restart. 2 laps were lost and the team dropped to third, and the Arangis Porsche swept by. The problem was later diagnosed as an overheating fuel pump, which necessitated McLaughlin completing his stint with his finger pressed on the fuel pump switch. Fourth overall was the Mitchell van der Spey Juno Nissan. The pair suffered random fuel pressure issues which caused the car to lose power intermittently. The Redstar rookies benefited from a safety car train which allowed them to close up on the 4th placed Ro and Nathan Polo and nip past once under green flag conditions. The factory Volkswagen squad was nonetheless happy with their 5th place and Class D victory, given that this Polo is chassis number 1, in essence a slower and heavier car than their regular endurance racer, which was crated up and en route to the similar hill climb. 6th overall and winning Class E as well as the index of performance was the Xena Chemicals Nash VW of a delighted Andrew Horn and Gerald Bass, recording their first finish in a year after a faultless race. The Calyx VW Polo of Yuri Swart and Cara Hill ended 7th after losing 4 laps sorting out a braking issue. Once up and running safely, they made up 1.5 laps to end second in class and just 2 seconds ahead of the 8th placed PPLE Adapt backdraft of Mark Harvey, Philip Mayer and Dean Wilson.
I'm standing here with Cara Hill. Now, Cara, you came into the pits a bit earlier and you actually spent quite a long time in the pits. What was going on?
During the lap before the pits, I kind of had brake failure, so I don't know how I saved it, to be honest. But we came in and they were just bleeding the brakes. It was just a bit of a hiccup, put us back a bit, but I'm quite sure Umpi will go and fight for the win now, hopefully.
But besides that, the car's performing great, you're performing great, you're enjoying the track out there. It's a bit hot, I'm not going to lie. I'm feeling it in this suit.
It's boiling and our vent is not working. So our little aircon is not working at all. So I don't know how Umpi is going to do the whole hour and a half or so. But yeah, we're hoping for the best. Yeah. The car seems good. It seems a little bit reliable compared to the other races. Just a bit of a hiccup, like I said, but yeah.
The Panda backdraft team lost communications and had no idea of their position, and Harvey, running the final stint, set his fastest lap of the race on the final lap and banked second in Class E, as well as a second in the Index of Performance ranking. The Morgan Root trio brought their backdraft home in 9th overall, claiming the final Class E podium place as well, after what Ben Sr. described as a flawless race. Newcomers to the series competing in only their second ever race and the first time at Redstar, CJ Blackman, Jean-Paul Breiner and Anthony Hoare of Tradecore Steel Backdraft ended 10th overall after backing off over the final stint with a worrying vibration in the car. Brendan Dean and Barry Ingle brought their Mad Max backdraft home in 11th position after a lengthy pit stop to investigate a vibration. This after replacing their rear diff after qualifying.
I'm standing here with Barry Inge as the boys are talking lots of stories in the commentary box, and you are looking pretty exhausted. What, quite a stint?
Yeah, look, it was hard work. I think, just keeping these Cobras on the track is a challenge, but enjoyable nevertheless. Good scrap with Benjamin. Unfortunately, we picked up a vibration, so I came in, do a driver change, send Brandon out. Let's see what he finds with the car, and hopefully it lasts till the end.
10 minutes before the end of Dean's stint, the clutch failed and Ingle was stuck in 4th gear for the remainder of the race. The final classified runner was the Joseph Ellerine Leighton Fourie MJR Motorsport Audi GT4, who pitted just after half distance to investigate an electrical issue that caused the car to default into limp mode. Running repairs got the duo home though. Unclassified but running at the checkered flag, Team Kubani had a fraught race after a fuel tank strap broke, which cost the team 5 laps to repair. Worse was to come when the side shaft broke, and although the team knuckled down to repair it, too many laps had been lost and Holomisa and Khubuluza remain pointless this season.
I'm standing here with Fikile. Now, Fikile, it's a real frustrating sight for you to see your car in the garage again.
Yes, ma'am, it's really, really frustrating. It's the second time now we have to come here. Initially, we lost a bracket for the petrol tank. Now it's a drive shaft that snapped. But I'm hopeful that the guys will be able to change it, and then we can go back before the pit lane closes.
Yeah. And it's just in time to kind of get out and finish the race.
Yes, that's our only hope now, that we can go out there and then finish within the allowable time. You know, we can go back, but if we don't meet the required percentage, then we're not going to count. But we're just going to go back.
It's been an unfortunate season for you so far because Swartkorps also wasn't really a great outcome.
Yes, ma'am, it is a very bad one. I mean, 2 races we're not scoring, and there are 3 more races to go. It doesn't look good, but we're not going to give up. We're going to just continue because we love what we are doing. So we'll continue doing what we love.
That is exactly what I love to hear. We're not going to give up and we're going to keep pushing and pushing. So I wish you the best of luck, and your guys look like they're getting it done.
Thanks, ma'am. It's going to Kevin.
Good luck.
Bye.
Defending Class E and Index champions Team Pesty had a torrid weekend. The car broke a diff in a practice which bent the mountings. In the morning warm-up, the rear mounting broke, which was again fixed for the race. An hour into the race, the right rear side shaft broke and their race was a run. The first retirement was the factory backdraft of Brian Martin and Trevor Graham, which lost the wheel as a result of a broken wheel bearing.
Michael Stephen managed to get almost every trophy. He did also get something very special.
Yeah, I mean, that was fantastic. Obviously, new tyres on the car, qualifying trim, I think 48 dead. So really happy to do that. We went for the lap record in race 1, but there was debris on the track at the final corner and a cone in the middle on the way out. So I think I was a 10th shy of the ultimate lap record, but we'll come back next year and try and beat that.
Obviously, it's quite important to have all the elements in place for it. You mentioned tyres a little bit. In qualifying, you managed to get that time. Obviously, it doesn't count because it was a qualifying lap. Were the tyres that important in the whole process?
Yeah, absolutely. And also, even in race 1, I sort of tried to save my tyres because I knew Silvio didn't do race 1, so he had tyres that were 30 laps fresher for race 2. So I tried to conserve my tyres knowing that he would come out with fresh tyres in race 2. So, but it's part of the game, and that's what makes motorsport what it is. And strategy and teamwork, and you win together. So we'll come back stronger and hopefully we can win the next one.
Well, that brings us to the end of the post-race show here at Redstar Raceway in Delmas. Next out, we're going to Pekisa on the 1st of July. It is race day. For more information, make sure you follow us on social media, and we'll see you at the races.